Thank you for choosing ReWired CRM. We are primarily focused on lot and land investing. Today I will be going over a general overview of ReWired CRM systems. So the first thing I would like to discuss is about the task, our task management. Have you ever, lost out on leads or deals because of overdue task? With ReWired CRM in our task management, if you have any overdue task within the CRM, you will consistently get notified of that task until that task has been cleared out. So you'll get an internal notification stating that, hey, this task is overdue. Please complete this task. So we set that in place so you can our job is to create the opportunity for you to focus on your goals. Rather if it's your first deal or rather if your goal is 20 deals a month. Future task or daily task, but any overdue task that has not been completed, it will automatically send an internal notification to you or the person that's assigned to that task, a daily notification for it to be completed. The next thing we want to discuss is the inbox. The inbox is where most of the conversations will be between you and the prospects will be held at, whether through SMS or email. You can also compose right here just by typing in the customer's name, phone. We also have templates in regards to the message. All your unread messages will be here, your recent messages, and all messages. So now what happens when inside of ReWired CRM, we have the automation set up in place where when prospects start to respond, if it automatically sends a response back. So if someone says, I'm not interested right now, it'll wait for about 2 minutes and it will say, okay, I completely understand. I'll check back with you in about a month or two just to see if anything changes. If someone says, hey, take me off your list, don't text me again, you will not see those type of messages because it will automatically be removed and sent to the D&D. So it has basically keywords in the back, so it automatically responds to that text message. Also, in the same section, we have the cold calling, where you may have a cold caller or you're cold calling. For land and lots. So now within this process right here, you may want to call some follow-ups. This is the perfect opportunity. You may have your callers, this is a single line dialer for your caller to be able to make calls on really hot lists that you might have put together yourself. So you can select the workflow of a list that you may have put together and you can assign it to a person and you could just start dialing right from there. Again, it's templates that's already here, that's ready to go. The next thing I want to talk about is lead generation. Now, when you're doing your marketing, all of your marketing and your contacts will be in the lead generation section. So you may have 4, 10, 20 different spreadsheets between Google Drive and Dropbox. We'll be able to show you'll see a step-by-step video of how to upload your list directly into ReWired CRM. So now all of your lists, what kind of campaign, what kind of contact source, what marketing channel, once all your list is inside the system, you can see the last activity. When was that list created or that contact created? You also have the ability to add tags to that. You can filter and say, hey, I want to see from this list or all of these lists combined, how many people were on the probate list? How many people were on hold violation or a tax list or out-of-state owner list? And then what you could do is once you go to your lead generation, you can actually create a new list. And that may be an even hotter list. So on the right-hand side where it says more filters, these are the most things that's used. Then we have the contact information. These are things that, you may want to filter out to create new lists, opportunities or tags. Mostly I use tags when I'm in here to do certain filters. And we'll come here if you wanted to add to a workflow. Now, when they say add to a workflow, That's your marketing. Once you're in the system, I can show you exactly how we do our marketing. We do our workflows. You can also send an SMS, send an email. You can add your tag right here. You can remove a tag over here. You can delete this contact. You can import, export. It's right here, import. So much you can do inside of lead generation that, you can say if you have a new list and you say, okay, well, this list is not working for our SMS, but they respond differently. So now your first attribution may be SMS, but they may actually respond via cold call or email. But you have the option and the ability, instead of using 20 different platforms as your CRM, everything is done right here. Let's go to company. Right here in the company section, we can actually add our buyer right here where it says add new buyer. Gather some basic information of what our buyer looks for and put it inside of the description. I think it's great because where postal, you put the zip code. So I know once I see certain zip codes, I can look at the buyer and add that buyer for that property, or I guess, contact that buyer and send them out an email in regards to certain properties based on the zip code. And once you have that buyer, if it's a pending deal, active deal, if that buyer puts in earnest money deposit, the system automatically connects that buyer. John Smith is the buyer and Jane is the seller. And once you connect the two, you can actually come here and you can see he's connected with this seller. So this company is connected with the seller and vice versa. You can actually see which seller is connected to which buyer. And you can also assign a task while these two are connected, which is powerful. So this is something more for your transactions coordinator. The next step would be seller leads. Seller leads, once we are in seller leads, we have the lead flow. So within your lead flow, again, once you're doing your marketing in your inbox and you have someone go through that funnel in their acquisitions for you to make that offer. And this section is called your lead flow. Once you introduce who you are and your company, this is a new lead, or they may respond through text message or incoming call, and you discover that it's a new lead. Now you'll put them in that lead flow from new lead all the way to contract signed. New leads, interested leads, verbal offers, contract sent, and contract signed. But if you see up here, these are our many KPIs that we can look at and say how many new leads did we get, and you can set the date and the time. How many out of those new leads, how many of them were interested? How many did we give a verbal offer to? How many contracts did we send out? And that's your mini dashboard as your KPI. How many people, how many incoming calls did we have? How many SMS did we have? So this is great, but not only for just acquisitions, but we have that also. We also have that for transactions as well, excuse me. For when new deals come in, once they're signed as a new deal, now it becomes an active deal. So therefore, the transaction coordinator is always aware of the new deals that's coming into the lead flow from new deals all the way to closing. So therefore, she's always aware, or he's always aware. Even if it's a one-man show, you're always aware of where everything is at. So you know what new deals you have on the board, how many active, how many pending, how many closed. This is your mini KPI as well. We're really KPI based, task based, and follow-up based. That's our three main goals with ReWired CRM. Also, lead management. Now, lead management, this is basically for all your follow-ups. We have a 40-day follow-up, and these are already in the system. The 40-day follow-up, the can't reach follow-up, hot, warm, and cold lead. So we can't reach them in 40 days. That's the best part about this CRM. If you can't reach them in 40 days, it then switches over to a cold lead follow-up. If we can't reach them within a cold lead follow-up, guess what happens? We then put them on a cold call follow-up. So now your cold caller is able to start calling because they may not respond best through text message or Wrangler's voice message. But we're trying every marketing channel so we can have contact with that prospect. So we have incoming calls, SMS, we have our follow-ups, wrong numbers, do not call. You won't see them in the messages unless it's like different words that we are not familiar with or the system is not familiar with. If they respond within this follow-up sequence or sequences, then it would come up as a reply SMS. And then you can build that rapport, and then it could be possibly a lead from there. The next thing we're going to go to is KPIs. We're doing reportings on the Google metrics, Facebook metrics. Where did that lead come from? Whether it's cold call, RVM, or SMS. But we also have KPIs on your call matrix. Rather if it's any answer call versus missed calls. What is your top sources? Where's the calls coming from? What's the average call duration? See, these are numbers that you want to be aware of. All your calls, and you can also filter the calls by campaign, by source type, by landing, by keywords as well. So you're always aware. You can also set it for the date, the tracking that you're looking for, 7 days, 30 days, 1 year, so you can see what's the average of the ratio. First time callers, you may go on appointments. With Lot and Land, you really don't have to go on appointments. You could do everything virtual, but I still kept it here in case somebody may still go on appointments, which is nothing wrong with that. So you can see how many booked appointments you may have confirmed, no shows, sources, channels, and outcomes. This is the ReWired CRM. I'm going to go back to the task management. How do we send our agreements? We can send our agreements within ReWired CRM. If we're cold calling and someone, if it's a no answer, it automatically sends them a text message. So once you're in the system, we can give you a more in-depth of everything that's in store, our workflows. In fact, I can show you one of the workflows right now. This is one of the transaction coordinators workflow. Let me zoom out a little bit. An agreement has been signed and is now going into TC. Now, once they get assigned to that or contact, this is the flow that they will be following. And as you can see, the flow just keeps going. So there's definitely automations behind here. So I just wanted to show you the workflow that's behind the transaction. Just so you can get an outline of ReWired CRM. Your responsibility is to work on your business, not in your business. So with that being said, hopefully I broke the business down enough for you. As far as ReWired, you got a chance to see our task management, our inbox, the cold call, our lead generation, our seller leads, our KPI dashboards. Yep, the KPIs for here, new leads, interested leads, verbal offers, contract sent, contract signed. And this is why we say, as far as your task, you're going to get a lot of internal notification with you and your team. So I want to thank you so much for the time and the opportunity. If you have any questions or concerns, you can always email us at support@rewiredcrm.com. Thank you.